Hello and welcome to Community Update. I am your host, Promise Okoy.
And I am MLA Akintokun. Today, we are sharing the spotlight on leadership, service, and community connection. Our guest is someone whose journey has inspired many. Honorable Adegoke Fadare, MLA for Clayton Park West.
Now, 1 year ago, he made the history becoming one of the first African immigrants elected to the Nova Scotia legislature, a project management professional, an author, and long-time community leader. He is a passionate person within the healthcare sector, efficiency in public service, and newcomer inclusion.
We'll be reflecting on his first year in office, his priorities, and what lies ahead. Honorable Fadare, welcome to Community Update. Well, welcome back to Community Updates.
It's always a pleasure being here. Excited. I've had the opportunity to sit across and have all kinds of conversations at different times. So this I'm excited about. You guys look doing good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But this is your first time of being here in your capacity as the Honorable MLA.
Well, yeah.
Right, thank you so much indeed for coming and for this section of interview with you. We are hoping that we'll be able to talk about your journey so far and the transition, talk about serving your constituency, the Clayton Park West, and as well as look at what lies ahead of us.
Right.
And with that, MLA.
So, diving right in, can you take us on the journey of the first 365 days? What has that been like?
I'll say humbling. It's an humbling experience, the opportunity to represent a people as diverse as we have at Clayton Park West. It's an honor that I wake up to every day. You know, it's a commitment that I've made to work day and night, to make the lives of people better. Because I believe ultimately that government is supposed to be there to make life better for the people. And I know it's not always as easy as as I'm saying it, but that's been my commitment, and that's what I've, spent time, whether talking to people in the grocery store, or whether somebody stopping on the road, or even coming into the office. It's something I take very seriously.
Right. Well, you've been a community leader for a while before this, so you've been a people leader for a while, but then there is this transition from community leadership into provincial politics. Tell us about that.
Well, I think it's generally the same in the context of it's a people issue. It's a people's business. I believe that people are the greatest resources that you could ever have. I believe that with people, your job, whether you're in community or whether in government, it's all about the people. It's being able to make the lives of people better. And for me, I think that that's what politics and governance is about. And that's what every day I go out, walking towards and ensuring that how do I make people's life better? How do I help, a senior who is having difficulty, being able to afford a vaccine like shingles vaccine or an RSV vaccine? Or how can I make, life more affordable? Being able to be part of a government that cuts taxes for people or reduces the GST, HST tax. Yep. Because I believe that we must be working for people. So for me, community and governance, I think the common factor is people.
And so you came into Canada as an immigrant, and just to be in a position where you are representing one of the most diverse parts of Nova Scotia. What has your experience from Nigeria actually been like, and how has it helped you in your current work?
Obviously, I'm sure you're aware that Nigeria is also a very, very diverse community. So that gives you the experience or the ability to be able to listen to various voices. There are various voices that needs to be listened to, needs to be heard. Regardless of their color of their skin, regardless of their gender, regardless of who they worship or, who they love, regardless of all of that stuff, people need to be heard. So for me, the opportunity of my background being a Nigerian, being in a country that had over 250 ethnic groups, allowed me to be able to be accommodated, to be patient, to be able to be open, to be a great listener, and to be able to listen to the various voices that exist. And for me, Clayton Park is the most, diverse community you ever see anywhere in Nova Scotia. And I'm excited to be that voice. I'm excited to listen day in, day out to the concerns of people, whether the ones I agree with or the ones that I struggle to agree with too.
And so, if you look at, if you want to reflect, I would say, based on what has happened in the past 1 year, I believe it must be moments of learning, moments of really impact both community and your personal self. What is it that you've been so proud of the most in this first year of your tenure?
I think it's a lot, really. One of the things I've heard, I remember while Don Knocking back then, was people felt government, at the local level, in context of the MLA role, wasn't present. People would talk about how, I remember in one of the debate that we had at the library, and someone stood up, and I remember the former MLA was there and said, I've written to my MLA before, no response. Would you be that kind of an MLA?
Wow.
And I remember the concern people also had was the fact that the constituency office wasn't within Clayton Park West. I remember there and there promised them that regardless of what it was, that constituency office will be back at Clayton Park West. And I remember when I fulfilled that promise, I reached out to the individual and said, I hope you're happy that it's back. And so for me, the fact that I can bring government closer to the people, where we can hear and feel the heartbeats of people, where we can have an understanding and appreciation of the needs, of the cries, of the concerns of people, for me, that I think is ultimately one of my biggest achievements, being able to, relate. Over the summer months, I went to 1,000 doors, knocking. There was no election, no nothing, just because I wanted to be in tune to how people feeling, what do people want, what should I be talking about. And I think that has shown with so much. I remember we had an open house on October 3rd. It was the very first open house we had, and over 100 people showed up. So people were shocked at that. No, I wasn't shocked, because I think people want an engaged politician, an engaged MLA, and they have that in me.
I was just going to ask, if you knocked on 1,000 doors outside of election season, what was the reception?
Yeah, obviously people initially were wondering, is there another election? I was like, no, I just wanted to drop my business card or my call card so you could call me, so you know that you have direct access to me. That's my email address. And I think it was really good, because a couple of individuals, there was a senior, an elderly man, who came to the office afterwards to drop a particular book for me. And that book was such a blessing to me. So I realized that that's the kind of relationship that I'm creating. That's the kind of relationship I'm looking forward to. One that is about engagement, one's about listening, one's about connecting. And that's what this last 1 year has been. So my learning journey is learning to, to meet more and more persons and to know how best I can serve.
All right. Now, talking about 7 Clayton Park West, which is your responsibility, which is your day-to-day responsibility and duty.
Yeah.
Healthcare has become topical.
Yeah.
And I guess that was part of what you had promised your constituents. Where does it sit right now? What progress are you making so far? Are you delivering on those promises?
I think it's very clear. If you look at the connection regarding the numbers, right? The number of patients to doctors, the number of people with patients without doctors has drastically reduced. I remember there was a time a few years ago, it used to be about 160,000 people without doctors, right? The numbers dropped about 67,000 people. So that's a dramatic drop. So for me, I see a lot of progress. One of the things that I was looking forward to doing within Clayton Park West is to have a working clinic. We don't have one just yet, but what we have now is what we call an Upson Healthcare Center, healthcare home, if I want to use the most appropriate word. And the thing about it is it's a combination. Right now in that particular location, I was told because I always have constant engagement with the doctors there, that there are about 10 doctors there.
Wow.
That's huge for anywhere. I think perhaps the only healthcare center right now that has about 10 doctors, even though some of those doctors will move to other health homes when those homes open eventually.
Right.
But presently about 10 doctors. We also have nurse practitioners there, dietitians there. So it's a whole, we call it collaborative care, where you have a combination of all kinds. And the hope eventually is that at some point in time, they'll be able to open times within their time slots to receive or allow for walk-ins. That's the goal. So that if I'm coming to a doctor and my need is not paramount or is not requiring a doctor, a nurse practitioner can see you. So that way it frees up the doctor to see somebody else. So we're looking at all those dynamics. We're not there yet in terms of the working clinics, but actually we now have a Upson health home that I think we're working in the right direction with lots of healthcare professionals in there that we're truly proud of. The onboarding is still going on, so I expect to get a call soon, but we're working real hard on that.
So that's the healthcare box checked. Let's talk about housing. And how are things going with housing?
I think we at some point in time we're at the peak where at some point our vacancy was very low. But right now we see that vacancy is increasing in the market. Everybody can tell and feel that, even though I know some people believe that that's primarily because of immigration. I think that in life we never give ourselves an excuse for why something is not working. I think that we need more houses built. So what we've done as a government, we committed ourselves to a 5-year plan about building housing. And housing, if you look at the entire skylines around Halifax and Nova Scotia, you can see houses are growing up, and all of that. And vacancy, because we believe that the solution is not about pegging rent control in terms of, putting it into a particular peg, but creating more options. So that when people have options and there's a lot of competition, there's large volume, it naturally will drop the house and make houses more affordable also.
Okay.
And Clayton Park, of course, where you are, like I mentioned in the intro, it's a very diverse part of Nova Scotia here, and everyone agrees that you have the entire world represented there.
Yeah, I call it the United States of Canada.
Right. But
Clayton Park.
Within this group, you have some newcomers. You have people with diverse needs as well, as diverse as the society is. How are you managing that? Are you allowing those voices to be represented in your day-to-day activity, legislations and all that stuff?
So like I say, Clayton Park West is a place where you probably see people who have been living there for 60 plus years and those who just arrived 60 minutes ago, right? It's a large combination of people. People know about Clayton Park even long before they arrive there. They tell on Google and they say, oh, place to go live is Clayton Park, and all of that. So I'm fully cognizant and aware about what that looks like in terms of the diverse voices and diverse people that represent. And that's why one of the things we've done is to make ourselves open and accessible to who and whoever wants to. We brought our office, which is the constituency office, literally where people shop. It's literally beside the back of Sobeys, right? Where people do their normal grocery shoppings and the likes. So that for us is very important. One of the other things we've done is we've connected with a lot of the what you call the multicultural groups, association, all kind from the Bengali associations all the way. We have connections all across. That way we are able to know what's happening within those communities, and we're also able to respond and also helping them to navigate either through services they require. Sometimes it comes in as notary, because obviously by virtue of my role as an MLA, I'm able to notarize documents for people. So people, there's all kinds, which a lot of those needs from either those who are in the low income, maybe because they need housing support, of those who have recently arrived who need certain credentials and all of that. So those are some of the things. People are aware about those services and those engagement continue. And that's why also I go out there, to some of those events myself.
Right. Are there town halls, or is it more of a one-on-one engagement, like you said, in the walk-ins?
So town was, like I said, the very first major stuff was the open house that we did. We also had something was organized by Jen Steele, who is one of the councillors in the area. And she invited me to be part of that. I've been to 2 of that, which anytime there's any engagement that is happening, I'm there. There's nothing to hide. I love to be engaged. And then most recently, regarding the 102 highway corridor, proposed the SPA, what they call the special planning that's happening within the 102 corridor. That was some HRM open house. I was there also listening to concerns and just generally connecting with people, trying to understand their perspective, trying to, because I think that it's important for us to hear people out, and hear those voices. Sometimes people just want to be heard. And I just want people to know that they have an MLA that would always be out and willing and ready to hear them. So,
indeed. You had mentioned severally, I think in the course of the interview, your role as MLA. Can you tell us a bit more about the different hats that you have to wear in your current office?
Like I would say, the role of an MLA obviously involves a lot more with caseworks, right? Where there's a lot of casework. So caseworks are generally anything that anybody brings as a concern to your office. And that's something that could be personal, it could be community, it could be anything.
So you have trust of the people?
Oh, yes, you do. You do. Because which is one of the beautiful part about it, the fact that you're able to have real open conversations. So whether it's not just even people, even businesses, right? Where you help businesses navigate through government services, you bring them in contact with, like a particular company within our locality that's been having issues with a particular development. We're able to bring in the senior executive director and then the MD of the company, and they can look themselves eye to eye and be able to have the conversation. Those are some of the things that one is able to do for people, for community, because it's important for us to ensure that entrepreneurs and businesses have all the necessary tools that they need, and the tools they don't have, how can they get those tools, right? So those are part of the stuff I get to do in terms of all of that can be categorized as a case work, which is exciting because, there's a mother who's probably talking to me about a child who needs help regarding mental health, and you are able to, or someone who's going to a nasty divorce and needing your support. So it's a wide range of activities. So I really enjoyed the role of being a case to do case work, and because that way you are able to help people on one-on-one basis. But my role as a legislator is very different because that requires. It affects a much broader people because that's more about making laws. So the MLA gives me the individual perspective and interactions that I love to have. And being a legislator, which is obviously what I was elected to do, is to be able to come up with laws to see how do we improve the life and the lots of
and because you've been listening to your constituents, you're better equipped in terms of being able to propose laws.
And then to even help shape. Sometimes it's not even about proposing the laws, it's about bringing unique perspective and ways to the table that probably hasn't been seen or talked about before. And I also recognize the fact that because I'm a black immigrant, so I have people, and there's a standing rule within my office that anyone who is black, anyone who is an immigrant, whether you're from Chinese descent, whatever, can have access. So that even though my role and my work is for Cleaning Park West, I've broadened it because people want to be able to associate with a voice or someone who has an understanding to help explain their case. Because some of the difficulties I see at times is that people's unique issues are not being able to be explained in the language that it needs to be heard at. And I'm able to help with that, balance, that dexterity of being able to navigate carefully between what this person is trying to say and what these people are trying to hear. So for me, that's been important. So that's my role as legislator, is much broader. And obviously because PC, as you know, we were elected as a majority 42, well maybe not 41, a strong caucus on November 26th. I also sit as a ministerial assistant for service officials. That is very different. That's more executive, but that enables me to be able to work with how do we make services more efficient. And I love what my Minister Tim Orman and I have been doing. Rather than people just filling forms to tell us their headaches or the red tapes, we've been dealing with businesses, going to meet them and their places of work, because we're not trying to get you out of your business, but we're trying to get your business moving. So for me, it's been exciting. Those are some of the roles that we have to play within those circles.
It's so interesting that you're doing much more than you were even elected to do, which is great. And your constituents are lucky to have your kind of person.
I would say that I'm privileged to be able to the truth about it. People in Clayton Park West have been amazing and remarkable. I've had people who come to me and who say, I never voted for you, but thank you for what you're doing. And that gives me joy. Because I do not represent just the people who voted for me. I'm representing every single voice. I just want Clayton Park West to know, and the residents to know that that's what I'll keep on doing as long as I'm your MLA.
Absolutely. So now, looking ahead, as you begin another year in your calling right now, what are your priorities for 2025?
I think my priorities are still the same. Listening to the people, being guided by the people's desire and vision of things. I'm excited about the new school being built. I know there are hiccups around it regarding residents and things like that. And we're working through those difficulties. Every time we have those concerns being brought up regarding like the one buffer zones, like the trees, some trees being back there. We've advocated for it. We've been promised that. We've also been asked that residents have asked us to say, "Oh, can we get 60 feet of buffer zone of trees?" That request has been put in. We're working to see how much of that can happen and whether we'll be able to get that. So for me, I'm looking towards that school being built in 3 years. That'll be exciting because we have Park West is obviously full right now. It has all gone to grade 9. So we're hoping to pull out grade 6 to 9 from that school into this new school. So that become middle school. So those are some of the things I'm really excited about. I'm obviously hoping to how can we make life more affordable to people. What more can we do as a government? That's the reason why I believe strongly in what the Premier is doing, which is basically developing the resource base of Nova Scotians. Because the truth of the matter is there are many services that we rely on as Nova Scotians that in order for us not to have austerity budgets, we need to begin to earn money from our resource base. Yeah. I know some arguments will be, yes, some of those things take several years. Yes, it takes several years. If we've not done it then, we can start it now so that it becomes easier in a few years to come.
Right. Now, of about 183 cycles, election cycles, you're the 9th Black elected official in Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, so this is what they call the 65th Assembly. So 65th Assembly is actually will be actually the number of times the House has been formed as a House.
Okay.
So in all of that, in terms of the number of people that have been elected as MLA, my badge is 183.
Okay, so in terms of the number of elected officials through 65 electoral cycles,
yes,
you are the 9th Black elected official in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Now, that definitely makes you a source of inspiration to immigrants, to young people. What would you say to any one of them listening to you?
First of all, I'll say that like being number 9 is not being number 1, so the people will blaze the trail, so
right.
That's good. So I'm happy to join those number of people to say that some things are possible. My desire has always been the next generation. I believe so much in the potential, the possibility of the next generation. That's why I've done a lot of activities around, the next generation with, different things like Dare to Dream. So my word will always be that, you have to dare to dream. It takes a lot to dream, It really takes a lot of guts to dream because dreaming is about saying to yourself that I'm going through this present circumstance, but I can see something greater and better. And so for me, that's one of the things I would love the next generation to be cognizant, conscious, and aware of. The fact that what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing now, doesn't always have to be the case. And that you also have the potential, the ability to rewrite your history, to rewrite your story. So your story can change. And the only way it can change is by daring to dream about it, to have something alternative to what you're presently experiencing. So for me, that's one of the things I'm always, I had the opportunity to speak at St. Mary's to young people. And they were so inspired that when I was done talking, somebody was like, "You're such a good speaker." I said I did for now. I was a good speaker, but for me, my desire is I just want people to realize that there's a lot more to do. So even when I get around parents, I don't do a lot of that as much as before. I always want them to dream more, and sometimes I guess some of them get frustrated by me. I say, "This guy is just stressing my life," because I believe there's a place called better, there's a place called forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up, Honorable, how can your residents connect with you, with the work you do, and how can they be part of the decisions that have been made, which is ultimately for the people?
Yeah, that's a very good one. So we did our first newsletter. I think it's on its way out to people. Probably people will be receiving the mails in the next few days or so. It's our first mail, and it captures some of the essence of what we've done in the last 1 year. But it also says to people that we have created a boardroom that you can rent for free, that you can use. And we recognize that people can't just use it for just 9 to 4, so we've created some extended hours. So that's some of the good news that we're telling people that from Monday to Friday, the boardroom is available for use all the way to about 7:45 to 8 p.m. Wow. So we're hoping to do the weekend one, but we'll see how we get to that. But at least we're taking some steps in the direction. Because one of the things about Clayton Park West is people have issues with space, where to use.
Yep.
So we're making our boardrooms available. You can see 30, 40 people. So come and use it. So that's one of the things that we put out in our newsletter. We've also put out in our newsletter how you can reach us. Because the good thing about newsletter is because it's distributed by Canada Post, every home will get it.
Oh,
Right.
So in it, you will see how to reach us through our email, which is admin@adegokefadare.ca, or even through our website, which is www.adegokefadare.ca. But also you can come to the office, which is at 287 Lacewood, Suite 109, which is directly just behind Sobeys. So it's one of those ways. I have an amazing CC, Karen Smith, is remarkable. If you like to, if you like a lot of jokes and a lot of stories, come over. She's willing to. We'll make you a cup of tea. One of our commitments is if you ever come to our office, we give you a coffee if you want, or we make you a tea.
Oh, that's
or,
nice.
At least take
Yeah,
one
we
if
should
you
be
want.
visiting there.
We
So
should.
make you
We should
feel
pay you a
as
visit.
home as possible. So I'm waiting for you. Just come. Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sitting with us at Community Update, but more importantly, thank you for your service to the community and to the province.
Thank you. It's a great honor. Thank you guys for the work you do.
Absolutely.
I'm always constantly impressed at how you guys are always innovating. I see you. So keep the job.
Oh,
right.
thank you very much.
Awesome.
It's been truly inspiring speaking with Honorable Adegoke Fadare, MLA for Clayton Park West, marking 1 year of service and dedication to his community. His story is a reminder that leadership starts with a desire to serve, and that representation matters for all of us who call Nova Scotia home.
And to learn more about his work and to connect with his office, visit adegokefadare.ca. And thank you so much for watching this edition of Community Update. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe for more inspiring conversations that shape our community. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected, and see you
See you soon.